Hello, my name is Dr. Yaya Sissoko, Professor of Economics, Department of Finance and Economics at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Today, we're going to talk about Chapter 12, Unemployment. This video is about the steady state rate of unemployment. So, what is the steady state rate of unemployment? The flows of workers across jobs and in and out the labor market generate some unemployment. It's easy to calculate the steady state rate of unemployment. The unemployment rate that will be observed in the long run as a result of this flow. Therefore, the steady state of unemployment depend on the transition probabilities among employment, unemployment, and the non-market sector. So let I be the fraction of employed workers who lose their job and become unemployed. Let H be the fraction of unemployed workers who find job and get hired. In the steady state, I times E equal to H times U. And since the labor force LF equal to E number of people employed plus U number of people unemployed, then the unemployment rate equal UR equal to U divided by the labor force, which is equal to I divided by I plus H. Figure 1 illustrates the U.S. unemployed person by reason for unemployment from 1967 to 2017. We can see that figure, figure 1 illustrates that the number of losers when in 1967 was about 40%, and the reentrant was about 31%. So the closest these two could be was happened in 1970, where so the job loser was about 36%, and then 35%, and then the reentrant was about 33%, so 2% gap there. From 1967 all the way up to so 2017, this gap become bigger and bigger. So we can see that the fraction of job loser hover around 50%, whereas in the fraction of reentrant hover around 20%. So which is with a gap of 30%, with a gap of 20%. So however, during the Great Recession, so job loser was about 64%, and the reentrant was only about 32%. So therefore in 2009 the gap between these two were about 32%. 64 minus 22, that's 32%. So on the other end, so job leaver and new entrants have around so 10%. They are almost evenly matched. Now let's pay attention to unemployment duration. Although most spells of unemployment do not last very long. Most weeks of unemployment can be attributed to workers who are in a very long spells. Figure 2 display the US unemployed person by duration of unemployment from 1948 all the way up to 2017. We can see that so on the blue here we have so unemployed with the spell less than 5 weeks, the one 5 to 14 weeks, and then this the one more than 26 weeks, and then the broken line 15 to 26 weeks. We can see that a large fraction of the unemployed are likely to be in the long-term unemployment spell. Even prior to the Great Recession, there have been an upward drifting, so, and the spell was start to so upward drifting was going up. In the number in 2010, this number increased to 43.3% of the unemployed were in long spell, and that statistic remained historically very high even after the recovery. So almost a quarter of unemployed were in a long-term spell unemployment in 2017. So which is a higher proportion than any time between the end of World War II and the start of the Great Recession in 2007 and 2008. Finally, the unemployment rate gives the proportion of the labor force that is unemployed and looking for a job. There also may be some discouraged worker who gave up on their job search because they could not find any employment. The Bureau of Labor Statistics publishes an alternative unemployment rate that included in the pool of unemployed, so any marginally attached person who currently are neither working nor looking for work, but indicate that they want and are available for a job and have looked for work sometime in the recent past. So figure 3 here gave us the trend in alternative measure of the US unemployment rate from 1994 all the way up to 2013. We can see that the official unemployment rate here, so which is so the black one, this line is the lowest, so therefore unemployment is kind of underestimated. If you take this official rate, you add any marginally attached worker, the unemployment will increase to the blue line. And then if you take this and then you add also on the top of the official, you add the marginally attached worker, and also you include part-time worker available for full-time, the unemployment rate would rise to the the solid the black line, which is higher, way higher than so the other two. So we can see that so figure 3 display here that the unemployment rate goes up by 1%, the gap here by 1%, so when the marginally attached are counted are unemployed. So therefore, unemployment rate is kind of underestimated. Figure 4 display the flow between employment and unemployment. So we have e-workers who are unemployed, they have a job and working, and you workers who are unemployed, they are not working, but they are looking for a job. So suppose that a person is either working or unemployed. At any point in time, some workers lose their job, so they leave these parks and go to these parks. They live here, employed, and they become unemployed. So and some worker will find job, they go the opposite direction. They leave these parks and they get to this one. So if the probability of losing a job is equal to L, lowercase l, there are L times E job loser. So L times E will lose their job and become unemployed. And if the probability of finding a job equal to H, there are H times U job finder. So the probability of people who find a job would be H times U. Then they leave this box and come to this box and become employed. Figure 5 display the dynamic flow in the U.S. labor market. The figure 5 illustrates the magnitude of this flow for the average month of 1990 and 2006. So between this average month, there were 130 million people employed and 7.4 million unemployed and 69.3 million out of the labor force. So during the typical month, about 1.8 million people 1.8 million person who had a job now so lost their job and become unemployed. At the same time, one so one 1.8 million, the people who were out of the labor force, became unemployed, and about 2 million people who were unemployed find work and they were working. And at the same time, an additional 1.6 million people left the labor force and were out of the labor force, and also because maybe they got discouraged. And then we can see that and and so and 3.4 million people who were out of the labor force became employed, found a job and became employed. So this is the end of the video about the steady state rate of unemployment. Next time we'll talk about job search. Thank you.